Okay, let's just dive right into this. Have you ever looked at a billionaire and thought to yourself, man, what is the secret code I'm missing here? Well, you are in the exact right place. Welcome to This Explainer, where we are going to completely demystify wealth building for absolute beginners. Today, we're constructing what we call the wealth building pipeline. Basically, it's all about moving from absolute zero to consistent, undeniable financial growth. So here is our roadmap for today. First, hacking your money mindset. Then creating modern income streams, escaping the debt trap, unlocking the magic of compounding, and finally, the $20,000 rule. Building wealth isn't about fancy Wall Street jargon, it's honestly just a simple step-by-step pipeline. But first, why does your brain absolutely hate new financial habits? Look, the struggle to save is incredibly real. The typical 40-hour-a-week worker often repeats the exact same financial mistakes, basically because they're fighting their own biology. Science actually tells us our brains are totally hardwired for instant gratification, so building new disciplined financial habits, it feels incredibly uncomfortable at first. You aren't bad with money, you're just fighting human nature. Which brings us perfectly to pillar one, hacking your money mindset and overcoming your brain. Before we can actually grow our bank accounts, we have to recognize the mental barriers that beginners face, like that devastating one-click shopping trap. But even worse, we fall into a massive psychological loophole called mental accounting. It's a behavioral finance concept where our brains basically trick us into categorizing money subjectively. You know the feeling, right? Treating a sudden tax refund like it's literal lottery winnings for a Vegas trip, while completely agonizing over a $5 coffee when it comes out of your regular paycheck. Guys, it's the exact same money. Recognizing this tendency is step one to stopping your brain from tricking you into staying broke. Now consider this concept of defensive pessimism. It's a psychological trait that's incredibly common in Gen X money habits. It's basically the mindset of trusting nothing, preparing for everything, and stockpiling cash purely out of a sheer fear of loss. And hey, while avoiding debt is great, operating purely from this scarcity mindset instead of a growth mindset can honestly paralyze you. We really need to shift from defensively hiding our money to actively putting it to work. All right, moving on to step two, creating modern income streams. This is all about generating your seed money. Once your mindset is locked in, you need seed money to escape that brutal paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. But getting that initial cash today absolutely does not mean breaking your back at a second minimum wage job. We're talking about modern AI side hustles here. Things like lo-fi beats music videos, 3D cartoon niches, viral kids nursery rhymes, and cinematic AI action shorts. These are prime examples of a profound shift. Literally anyone can begin to scale their income passively online using today's AI tools. The barrier to entry for content creation, it's completely vanished. Now, if that sounds intimidating, let's just break it down into a super simple system. Step one, pick a high-traffic AI niche, something like lo-fi beats. Step two, use easily accessible AI tools to generate the visuals and the audio. And step three, post consistently to a monetized platform like YouTube. Following this exact system has the potential to earn creators around $400 per day. It really goes to show just how actionable, realistic, and accessible modern wealth generation has actually become. Okay, step three, escaping the debt trap, because you've got to keep the money you make. Let's be real for a second. Earning $400 a day from a side hustle means absolutely nothing if you don't know the mechanics of paying down your existing debt. Before you pay off another dime, you need a strategy. You basically have two main options here. First is the debt snowball, paying off your smallest balances first to get those really quick, satisfying psychological wins. Then you have the debt avalanche, tackling the highest interest rates first for pure mathematical efficiency. You have to decide right now. Do you desperately need a mental boost to keep going? Go with the snowball. Do you want the ultimate math victory of paying the absolute least amount of interest? Pick the avalanche. Just pick one and execute. Once you have finally escaped that debt trap, we shift into the long-term game. Section 4, the magic of compounding, or as I like to call it, the explosive math. This right here is where wealth building goes from a total daily grind to explosive growth. And believe it or not, it starts with one tiny thing, $5. Seriously, changing your life and securing your long-term financial future starts with committing to investing just $5 a day. That is literally the cost of a fancy coffee or a quick fast food snack. If you can hack your money mindset to simply reallocate that $5, you alter your destiny forever. Just think about this. Over 20 years, $10,000 just sitting in a standard checking account gets eaten alive by inflation. It barely moves at all. But put that exact same $10,000 into the top 3 index funds, and it absolutely skyrockets. This is the literal explosion point of compound interest. This is exactly how you outsmart the system. You don't need to pick individual stocks, you just rely on the proven long-term growth of index fund investing. The math dictates that the point where compounding suddenly explodes is inevitable, if you just wait long enough. Consistency is your absolute greatest asset here. If you maintain steady, defensive savings rates and funnel that cash into index investments over time, you will almost never run out of money. It is a mathematical certainty. It's not a gamble, it's not a guess, it is a certainty. Which brings us to the absolute final stage of our pipeline, Section 5, the $20,000 rule, the financial tipping point. $20,000. Look, getting to your first $10,000 is an absolute grind. We all know that. But hitting $20,000 in savings or investments, that is the psychological and mathematical barrier where the game suddenly gets so much easier. This specific threshold is where everything in your financial life flips. Let's break down exactly why crossing this threshold is so incredibly powerful. After you hit 20K, your income growth naturally accelerates because your investments are finally large enough to generate noticeable, real-world returns. By this point, your budgeting is completely mastered. I mean, you couldn't have saved 20 grand otherwise, right? Plus, that low-level, gnawing daily financial panic, it completely disappears. You can finally just breathe. And best of all, having this capital unlocks entirely new wealth creation opportunities that absolute beginners simply do not have access to. It's a completely irreversible, triumphant psychological shift towards lasting financial freedom. So let's zoom out and look at how chronologically actionable this entire pipeline actually is. In just one day, you can hack your money mindset and put a stop to that one-click spending. In 1 week, you can easily set up a modern AI income stream to start generating that seed money. In 1 month, you can fully implement a debt elimination strategy, whether that's the snowball or the avalanche. And in 1 year, you will hit your first major compounding milestone, putting you right on the fast track to that $20,000 tipping point. This whole journey is structured, it's mathematical, and it is entirely within your control. So I'm going to leave you with this final question to think about. What will your first $5 investment be tomorrow? Wealth building isn't about being perfect, it's simply about starting. You have the pipeline, you know the math, so now it's time to take that very first step. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see how you build your financial future.